Hi everyone, let's talk about Summer Miss Crane, possibly the best value summer servant in this year with how versatile she can be in most situations as a 4-star servant. Her first skill increased party's odds performance by 20% and crit chance resistance by 30% over 3 turns, then give both party debuff immunity and party evasion for 1 x 3 turns. Skill 2 increased party's MP charge and MP damage for 20% 3 turns, then increased party's mental debuff success rate by 40% 3 turns and party's damage against enemies with mental debuff status 30% 3 turns. Skill 3 has a 60% chance to charm more enemies, then charge 30% of her own MP and increase her own MP damage by 30% for 3 turns. Her Noble Phantasm removes all enemies' offensive buff, increase own odds performance by 10% 3 turns, and inflict confusion status to all enemies for 3 turns before attacking, then deals 450% damage to all enemies and give them a 20% crit damage resistance down except mid-summer close enemy for 3 turns. First of all, party MP charge, MP damage, and party evasion, debuff immunity, plus party mental debuff success rate increase, and damage increase against mental debuff makes her easily a great support plugin that specializes for mental debuff teams. Furthermore, before her Noble Phantasm deals damage, all enemies will be applied with confusion, which makes the party damage increase against mental debuff guaranteed to trigger. Combined with the 3-turn crit defense down debuff on all enemies after a Noble Phantasm can pair up with crit teams to deal high burst damage to enemies using crits. Not to mention skill 3 self MP charge and MP damage allows her to further increase the looping ability of the Arts AoE servant, and the party survivability in skill 1 makes her able to fit in decent amount of meta system. However, like other mental debuff servants, she can't really do much against enemies with debuff immunity. She also suffers from similar situation like Summer Tiamat. Some of her supporting value is locked behind her Noble Phantasm, making it a tiny slightly harder to use her as a one-turn plugin. Since she is more of a servant specialized on supporting mental debuff teams, Mata can be a great servant to pair with her with up to 70% defense down on charmed enemies while they are charmed by Summer Miss Crane using skill 3. Summer Passion Lip or Waver's crit support will be great to pair with her on crit teams if you're trying to utilize the crit defense down after her MP. And if you're using her as the main odds looper, then Castoria will be your pick for better MP rate and 50% battery. Servants like Karma or Lilith will massively benefit from pairing with her since the MP heavily relies on charmed enemies to massively increase their MP damage, and Summer Miss Crane can give extra turn of charm, higher party mental debuff success rate, and extra bit of damage against mental debuff status. As for the CE, use Black Rail if you're using her to MP loop as the main DPS, or LC like Self-Torn or Starter MP will be fine on her depending on the situation. Overall, Summer Miss Crane is a decent support DPS that specializes in supporting mental debuff teams. Being MP1 can already fully utilize 100 of her supporting capabilities, while her high amount of MP charge and MP damage buff makes her also a great contender as an alter ego looper. Combined with MP's all enemy crit defense down, makes her able to find a spot in various type of meta system. Since Summer Tiama is in the same gacha pool as her, getting one while trying to get Summer Tiama should be a fairly easy task. That's it for now. Comment on your thoughts about this servant, support me by any means, and if you find this video helpful, and please subscribe, or else Summer Miss Crane will always get debuff immunity enemies. Anyways, I'm gone now.